I think they're two different things. One, how to get a following, and two, how to get people to care. If you can figure out how to get people to care, let me know, because I don't know if I have people that care that much.
What is something about touring no one warned you about?
It's all right. Basically, we fight all the time. We're really close, but we fight all the time.
Can you share an example of a time when a joke completely flopped or you got a reaction that was unexpected from the audience?
Yeah, every day, every time. I'll say something and no laughs, and then I just move on in shame.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of 0 to 1. Our guest today is Austin Nasso, a former software engineer at Microsoft who now transitioned into comedy and entrepreneurship, a pretty crazy move. He is the founder of Socially Inept, a comedy show that uses satire in the tech industry, blending both his technical background with his passion for humor. So yeah, thank you so much, Austin, for joining us today. We're really excited.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
You've had a very crazy story. Clearly, you started off in software engineers. Also, you transitioned into the space of comedy. So before all the punchlines and all the sold out shows, you were deep into software. So we want to know a little bit about your tech origin story.
I started doing stand-up when I was 18. And then at UCLA, I started the comedy club there. So I would do a lot of shows on campus. And my tech origin story is I studied computer science and software engineering at UCLA and just got a job randomly at Microsoft. When I say randomly, because I remember it was senior year and I didn't have any job lined up. And I was really stressed out. And I was doing we're on the quarter system and I had 5 classes and I was running the comedy club on campus, and all my friends had internships the years prior. I didn't even know that people were getting internships. So I never even tried that. I didn't realize everyone was just doing internships every summer. And I didn't know that was the normal thing to do. No one told me this. So I had no internships under my belt. And I had one random job offer at American Express in Phoenix, and it wasn't that good. And so I randomly did an interview so I was class of 2017, and I interviewed for a 2018 role at Microsoft just as a practice interview, because I'm
oh my God.
Obviously I'm not going to take a year off. So I almost didn't go. I was supposed to go to Mardi Gras with my roommates, and then I realized I was just too stressed. So I canceled my trip because I had a final, I had a big comedy show. So I ended up doing the Microsoft interview. The interview was very okay. I don't remember. I don't even think I finished one of the problems. It wasn't it wasn't that, I didn't do that well. And then the recruiter called me and said, only 2 seniors interviewed, and we actually have an opening now for a 2017 role. Can you fly out immediately? So I flew out to Redmond, and I did this round of interviews for this team that was they just became an engineering team. They were field engineers or something, and their product just became more engineering side. So it was the easiest round of interviews ever. They were asking me super easy questions. What is an integer? It was just super basic, things about really basic database questions, the most generic things ever. It was entry-level computer science questions and not complicated coding problems at all. I did it when I interviewed at Facebook and Google, and somehow they accepted me, and then it was a 6-figure job offer. And so I just worked at Microsoft. I got in through the back door pretty much, because I think the regular engineering team interviews would be way harder. But either way, I was a software engineer at Microsoft. So then I moved to Redmond, and it was so depressing. Or I moved to Seattle. My recruiter said a lot of senior people on my team work remotely full time. So I thought that was promising. So slowly I just kept bothering my manager and asking if I could work remote.
So you got this Microsoft offer by chance, or with a spur of luck and great interviews? And how long did you even work there?
So I was there for 4 years. And then after the first year, I was remote. And I went back down to LA.
Okay, that is super interesting. I've interviewed at Microsoft before, and they asked me some crazy questions.
What would they ask you? Dynamic programming problems and stuff like that?
Yeah, there was dynamic programming, some binary trees. I can't remember now because it was a while ago. This was also for internships, but
that's so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. They would ask the easiest questions ever. None of that stuff.
So you've always been doing comedy. When did you like have that moment where you decided, okay, maybe this is not just a hobby and I want to kind of do it full time?
I always knew I wanted to. Like, even when I was like 18, I knew I wanted to just do it. So I was just determined to figure out a way to do it. And then when I joined Microsoft, I knew I was just gonna either they were gonna let me work remote or I was gonna quit after a year and like get a different job.
And so how come you stayed 4 years if you knew you wanted to go to comedy, like eventually?
Because I need to get my stocks.
Is that, that makes
That is a
I think
valid.
that's the only valid answer actually.
Now I wish I didn't sell. I slowly sold some of them. I wish I didn't because it was $75 when I joined, and now it's $480.
480, that's crazy.
That is.
So that would have been way crazier. What is that?
Yeah.
Times 5 almost.
Times 5, yeah.
You were like, okay, it's been 4 years. My stocks have vested. I'm going to do this. Like, where was the beginning? How did you start? Because I see you started posting like on social media. You have like a massive following. So curious if that was the beginning or did you have another route?
No, so unfortunately, I didn't start with 700,000 followers on Instagram. But the beginning was more like I'll just do comedy shows at UCLA, do improv classes, improv shows, and like just small. I mean, the very beginning, like I did I was at a summer camp at UCLA when I was 16 for film, and then like a film camp, and then my friends made me do stand up at the camp and at the talent show.
How did the first few times on stage like happen? Like, are you not like wondering what people are gonna think?
It's fine, I don't really care. But yeah, when I first started, I was so scared I would like get sick.
Like physically sick?
Yeah, I got like a cold. I got like a cold or something. Like when I was 18 and I had to go up, and then I'll just go up and be horrible. It was crazy. I'd be nervous all day. I'd do 5 minutes, be horrible, and then get sick.
So now you have the Socially Inept, right? Which is you guys are touring all over the world. I'm curious, like, how did that start? How did you meet your co-hosts, co-founders? And yeah, what was that story like?
Yeah, so we met in 2018 and 2017 in Seattle when I was at Microsoft and I was doing comedy there. I met Jesse, and Jesse was running a show called Off the Top, like an improvised show where you like improvise off slides that he would pick that were just like oftentimes like just offensive about people because he's Asian. Actually, the first time I met him, I'm like, hey, could you film my set at like an open mic for me? And then I just like proceeded to bomb for like 5 minutes. And then he just gave me my phone back without making eye contact. And then I messaged him on Facebook and I was like, hey, that's crazy. You're also a comedian who worked in tech, who works out.
Talk about finding a connecting point.
Yeah. So then we hung out. So then me and Peter partnered, and then we did a show and like 150 people came out. It was called like Young Tech or something. And I was like 22, and like it was just a comedy show for like Microsoft people randomly. And then I invited my friend Liz to help me, and she helped get Amazon people. So we got Microsoft and Amazon people, and then I would just do these like stand-up shows that were like networking things, and then like we'd invite all these tech people, and then it would just be stand-up. And then like it was just getting boring because we were like helping tech people like now like socialize, and I didn't like that. So because they're not good at it, and it was just depressing. When I moved to LA in August 2018, I made a show called Roast of the Seattle Tech Scene, because we were all doing like random roast comedy shows in Seattle, and that premise took off and it sold out.
Ooh, was that your first sold out show?
Yeah. So it was sold out. We sold like 220 tickets. Based on that premise, we realized, oh, we could sell more tickets, and then I could sell tickets to other shows and then buy my flights back up to Seattle. if I sell tickets because it'll pay itself back. So then we did more shows in Seattle. And then in January 2019, I did a show in San Francisco. And then we did like a small show in Austin, Texas, and Denver and New York City and LA.
Wow.
And then COVID happened and then we had to stop.
So you guys are 4 people working together. Do you guys work in person? Like, what is the dynamic like between you guys?
It's all right. Basically, we fight all the time. We're really
Okay.
close. We're really close, but we fight all the time.
So, of course, Socially Inept is all about roasting the tech world, right? Like, that is the premise of the show. So I'm curious how you balance making fun of the industry and the people in the industry while also keeping it relatable and approachable to the people.
I think making fun of the industry is the relatable thing. So I don't know about the balance there. It's sort of like, I think everyone finds it relatable to make fun of it. So it ends up being smooth. And it's not too mean because there's a power dynamic of all these people in tech make a lot of money and they're successful. So it doesn't feel too distasteful. Except now that, with mass layoffs, people getting deported, people making less money. I mean, it's probably becoming slightly meaner to make fun of them because tech people are not as advantaged as they once were.
I think now, with the rise of so many content creators, everyone is posting things on different social medias, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, you name it. So you obviously have a massive following. I'm curious, how did that start? What did your content creation journey look like?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're two different things. Like one, how to get a following, and two, how to get people to care. If you can figure out how to get people to care, let me know, because I don't know if I have people that care that much. To get a following, you just need to post, and you need to post a lot. And just post different things. Someone told me once, like when I was in UCLA, I knew all these people at the Improv Space, which was a little improv theater next to UCLA, and they all worked at BuzzFeed, and they were all like influencers there, pretty much, like Chris Reinecker and Justin Tan and Quinta Brunson, who made Abbott Elementary. Anyway, they all said to just, put a lot of stuff out there, and eventually something will stick. And I'm like, is there anything else to it? Like, what else? And they're like, not really. And that's kind of true. You just put a bunch of stuff out there and then eventually something does well. And that's literally all it is. The algorithm favors you and you keep doing that. So you do more of that for a little bit. You improve the quality. You keep going viral. Then eventually you're like, I'm actually sick of doing the same thing over and over again. So then you experiment with other stuff and then it doesn't do well. And then eventually something else will stick. And now you have 2 things that'll do well. And then you can do those 2 things repeatedly and iterate on that. And then maybe sprinkle in something else. And then maybe that'll do well. And then eventually over time, people will be familiar enough with you where more of your stuff will do well, and then people will care more, just because it's you, and like they've seen your face so many times and they know your brand. But to get people to care, I think it's a different thing. Like there's a difference between followers and like the level of engagement of the audience. So if you want to just get followers, it's just that numbers game with content. If you want to get a more engaged, loyal fan base, I think it's building a rapport with your audience that's beyond just like short form content. And I'm actually not good at it, because my content is all short form. People don't really know me. And like transparently, like if I'm selling tickets for my own stuff, people don't care that much. My hypothesis is that you have to be like on some sort of long form piece of content, like recurringly. And people need to know you from that long form content and have a parasocial relationship with you to get to a deeper level of, like, I guess, fame and being well known and being well liked, not just short videos. Some people can do it through just short videos, but I think the deeper level of fame is like having other things too that show your personality. People that have like a really viral podcast or like some sort of series on YouTube that gets a lot of views, like some sort of show, or any long form thing that they're in where you can see their whole personality and vibe with them. They're the kind of people where they'll post something on Instagram and they don't need to post like reels every day, but then they'll post a random photo and it'll get like 50,000 likes. If I posted a photo, it's going to get like 300 likes or 500 likes. It's sad. People don't care that much. But like some people are at that level of fame where you just love anything about them. And I think when you love anything about them, it's more powerful and it's harder and less tangible to figure that out.
It's also scary because you're putting out more sides and parts of your life and personality out there. And people on the internet are haters or lovers. And sometimes when it goes the first way, it can be really intimidating. But I've heard from a lot of people, you just have to keep pushing through. And if it's received well, just like amplify on that. I'm curious to know, like when you create content, do you have some kind of schedule that you follow? Are you more of like a random poster?
Well, now I have a schedule because I have so much content going out. So I need a schedule. I have someone helping me post and produce it. And it's more intentional. But at first it was just kind of random and I would do it, but it's hard.
You've also been touring like everywhere, right? What is touring really like? Like, what is something about touring no one warned you about? Give us some behind the scenes.
Like in just May and June, we had a show in San Francisco. Then Marlene and I went on vacation in Japan. So we went to Tokyo and Kyoto and Osaka and Kobe. And then from there, I went to Seattle for a show. And then it's like super back to back though. It's like San Francisco, there for 2 days for shows. The vacation was great. It was after like a lot of other travel. So that was fun. And then I got back to Seattle, adjusted to the time zone for a day. Then we had one show in Seattle. Then the next morning I had to do a brand thing with some company. And then in the evening we had a Seattle show. Then after the Seattle show, we drove up to Vancouver, got there at like 4 a.m. Then I woke up at 2 p.m. and I had to be at the venue at 3 p.m. for the Vancouver show. We had the Vancouver show. Then we drove back down to Seattle, got there at 4 a.m. And then I had a flight at 9 a.m. back to New York. Then I was in New York for like 24 hours. And then I did some work, had meetings and stuff. And then the next day I flew to Madrid and we were in Madrid for a week. We had a corporate show that Friday. For fun, we went to Barcelona, me, Jesse, and Brandon. We went to like Primavera Sound and we saw like Chaperone, and then I got the flu. And then I got back last week, had the flu, was kind of out for like a few days. And then this Monday, I had to go to San Francisco for a corporate show. And then I got back Wednesday. So it's like kind of nonstop. And it's like fun, but it's also chaotic and it's hard because Marlena can't come a lot of the times. So it's just me like with the group. And also like they fight a lot. So it's just like annoying sometimes.
Which one was your favorite? Like, which show did you have the most people / was your favorite?
I actually like the YC one. It was like outside in a field. And it was just like random. But like all the like 21-year-old wannabe entrepreneur founders were like super eager. So it was really fun.
Can you like share an example of a time when like a joke completely flopped or you got a reaction that was unexpected from the audience?
Yeah, like every day, every time. I'll say something, get no laughs, and then I just move on in shame.
What do you do? Do you acknowledge that no one laughed?
When it's Tech Rose show, I don't say anything. I just move on, and then someone else says something, and no one noticed, hopefully. Then I tried to be funny. They just thought maybe I had a nervous tick or something. Like, why'd you say that?
When I watch your episode, I don't feel like anything. Like, I feel like everything you guys say, like if someone says something, right, another of your partners come in and just continue build on top of that joke and it makes it like complete.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
When I'm on my own, if I'm just bombing in stand-up, that's pretty rough. No one can really help you there. So either acknowledge it or just don't and then move on.
So other than jokes not landing, what would you say is like the biggest challenge of turning comedy into a full-time career?
The algorithms having so much control over everything. If the algorithms don't share your stuff, you don't get any exposure. That part sucks. You have to constantly make content, and even if you don't feel like it, and you have to constantly make it better. And it's like not even necessarily subjectively better. It's better in the dimension of the algorithm promoting it. There's one, okay, what is actually just funnier and better? And then there's like two, what does well in the algorithm? They're not vectors that are the same. So you have to sort of like do the combination of those two vectors, and then hopefully it's a combination of both. It's like a diluted version of both. It's like, it's not going to be the most funny thing because it has to be good for the algorithm. And it's not going to be the most viral thing because it has to be funny.
Can you explain how those are different though? I would assume that those are correlated, right? The funnier, I guess for comedians, right? The funnier the content is, the more likely the algorithm is going to go crazy, right?
I mean, maybe, but like usually the algorithm promotes things that are like short attention span stuff and like hooks that are like stupid, or like a girl with big boobs. Like it'll just do, like you'll see comedians that'll just like have their YouTube thumbnails. It's always like some girl's boobs. That's like the perfect example. It's like you're just sacrificing humor because you need to have their first 3 seconds of your video open up on a hot girl, like, and then like you have to navigate in the space that's like good for the algorithm and good for comedy. And it's sort of a narrow space.
We're also both in New York. I'm curious, outside of comedy, outside of tech, what are your hobbies? What do you enjoy doing?
Hit Equinox.
You have to recreate the Hudson Yards video.
Yeah,
That was the
only
funniest
thing
video I've
is,
seen.
I don't have the Hudson Yards membership, so I'm not paying $450 to go to fucking Hudson Yards
Nah.
to overlook a train station or whatever, like a railroad track. What is it? There's just like an abandoned railroad there. Who cares? Like what are people doing there? It's so stupid. Equinox is so annoying. It's so expensive, and they're low-key not friendly to you at all. I don't know. I don't like it. I mean, I like it because it's clean, and it's like there's so many, so it's good for stand-up when I have to work out and then go to a show. And then it's like everything, it's just easy. But like, I don't know, I feel like they don't like greet you and stuff. They're not like that nice.
Services.
They're not at all.
Yeah.
It's so pretentious. The advertisements are so stupid. There's like these robots on the wall, and they're just like, commit to something. It's like, what does this even mean? Well, anyway, what else do I do besides Equinox? The wonderful Equinox. Oh yeah, I like to go to like other ship and stuff once in a while. My hobbies are doing comedy, and it's also my job, so I kind of only do that. I just make videos and do stand-up and then work out and see my friends. I want to do like MMA or something.
I wanted to ask like one random question, and that is, before we close out, I wanted to ask, can you do like your favorite skit to perform? I want to see like a live skit.
I could just do like an impression or something. How about that?
Like, I think either Trump or Zuckerberg, honestly, those are the funniest ones. So Ashley, you can pick the topic exactly what you wanted to say.
I wanted to do like talking to like tech bros in SF, because I feel like that's such a popular, but also it can go so many ways. So I'm curious to see what way you pick.
Or actually, you know what? The easiest one, Zuckerberg talking to like other tech bros about AGI. I think that's just the easiest one, probably.
Okay, we do that.
Hi there. Thank you for coming into my office. It's so good to see you. So, as you know, AGI is imminent. That's why I'm willing to offer you a 10-figure signing bonus to come work for me, Mark. If you help me lay my future eggs, I will compensate you handsomely.
Dude, I feel like he's just glitching.
That was amazing, bro.
I love the mid-face interactions. Those are like so funny.
10 out of 10, honestly.
I love these are my favorite videos to watch on your channel, by the way. They're just, and it can go endless directions. I love it.
Thank you.
My favorite are like the Zuckerberg ones, but my parents' favorite are the Trump ones, to be honest.
Yeah, I need to add more. I think I need to add Sam Altman.
We need an Elon Musk one. The Elon Musk one are on another level. They're insane.
Do you have any shows coming?
Yeah, they're so cool. Yeah, next Friday in New York.
In New York?
We're doing Boston on Wednesday, Toronto on Thursday, New York on Friday, DC on Saturday.
Okay, cool. Ryan, we should definitely go for one of the shows.
I might go to the next one, actually.
Let's go
I've
next
never been
week.
to one, so I'll go next week, yeah.
comedy special coming out in August. Be on the lookout on my YouTube channel.
Okay, cool.
Perfect.
So for our audience listening, be on the lookout for Austin's comedy special in August. We'll put the link if we release it later. Okay, as we wrap up, we always ask this one fun question to all of our guests. Through your journey from 0 to the 1 that you are today, according to our podcast name, what was the most valuable lesson you've learned?
I'd say the most valuable lesson learned is if you want to achieve a successful result, I read this in a Tony Robbins book, you should model after someone who's done something similar. So if there's something you're interested in being successful at, see someone who's done it similar and do it, learn what they did.
Who's the person you looked up to?
I don't know. There's a bunch. But I'd say honestly, Trevor Wallace, how he did his content and then his stand up. And then just watching other creators, how they posted their content and just learning from them and talking to people. But yeah, it's literally just in an obscure, if you're trying to pursue something obscure like entrepreneurship or comedy, there's no clear path. I think there's always people you can just learn from that have done something similar and just see what they did and try to apply it. And that's your best chance of success. And then obviously innovate and do something new too. But I think it's the easiest way to do it.
Cool. We've had a really fun time chatting with you, Austin, and I'm sure you're really busy. So thank you so much for taking out the time.
Of course. Thanks, guys. Nice to talk to you.